Hey everybody, we're back. In our last episode, we took you a little off the beaten path and we showed you our hurricane hideout back in Oklahoma. Well, today we're off the beaten path again, this time with a near real-time update straight from the boatyard. It's almost time for Serenity to head back to the Bahamas for the season, and we've got a few things to tackle before she sets sail. We hope you enjoy this one.
Hey, so we are in St. Augustine and we came here for my fall break because we had some work to do on the boat.
Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm a high school teacher.
And I'm Chris, and I work in tech.
Together, we are sailing vessel Serenity.
We bought a boat we couldn't afford
and put it into charter to help pay for it.
But every chance we get,
we're aboard chasing adventures.
This is our story.
And our dream to sell it all and sail full-time.
At the end of every episode, there's a link to binge the whole journey from the beginning.
Welcome aboard Serenity.
We were going to replace the 42 on the front of the boat and put our Serenity stickers on. We were talking about getting underwater lights, and we got in this morning at 5 a.m. to the Airbnb, and then we got a call at 10 a.m. that our boat was going in the water. I think we have a video. And so now we are here in the boatyard and Serenity is in the water. So no boat lights this time, but I think we're gonna try to get the stickers anyway. I'm gonna turn this around.
There we go. So here we are on the dock in the water. Not planned. This was not supposed to happen for a couple of days, but we're still gonna try to get that 42 off the front of the boat and get the Serenity stickers. We do have some inside work to do, and the dinghy is very, very dirty, so we're going to get that all cleaned up. We'll get everything fixed up. So this is Serenity on the dock. We were hoping to get pictures of her out of the water, but unfortunately we didn't get here in time. So we were hoping first in, last out. We were first in, but they went ahead and pulled her out today. So anyway, this is what we have to work with, and we're gonna make the best of it. Robert and Carissa are here.
Since the boat was out of the water, they took the sails down, obviously. And so this is the first time seeing the boat without the sails. And they're just all tied up. And this is what it looks like whenever we are not using it or it's not being chartered. And it's a nice boatyard, but it was supposed to be out of the water so we could work on it. But here we are, it's in the water. So what's going on?
We've only got one leg of power on the port side, and then we've got both working over there. It looked like the power was lit up, but it's just not making it into the boat. So we've had a contactor break on us in the past, and that might be what's happening. So just kind of going through all the breakers and making sure that it's already plugged in. Got big ugly hole I'm working around here. Wanted to take you up, show you the boom and the mast when Serenity's on the hard, because they strip it of the sail bag and all the sails and everything. So this is all of the running rigging as well as is removed from the sails. So what we're looking at here is a naked boom. So naked boom, naked mast, and of course the roller furling on the forestay here. And we've also got the Serenity logos sitting out in the sun. They were wrapped up in a box for a kind of pretty good amount of time. So we've got those sitting out, kind of getting in the sun, hoping to get those installed tomorrow. That's the plan anyway. But yeah, kind of an interesting little boat yard we're at here. There's the Impossible Dream, another Cruise Abaco boat, which also appears to have splashed early. And then right over here behind me, you can see the travel lift. Serenity was on there earlier. As Lisa said, we kind of got a surprise. We were not intending to splash today. But I guess now that they got the travel lift working, because apparently it was offline for a little bit, they're rushing to get as much stuff done as they can. But yeah, if you look straight off that away, you can see that they've got one coming out of the water or going into the water. Couldn't tell you, but. And then that's the rest of the boat yard, right out through here. Serenity was on the hard over in the back. So we have numerous projects that were on the plan, and one of them was not to work on electrical issues, but well, those popped up anyway, so we're working on some electrical problems. I think it's actually going to come down to as simple as a cable, but those things are expensive, so this is a good place here in St. Augustine to replace that. So kind of got lucky to find that, and fortunately it's not a problem we would have to fix in the Bahamas. It'd be a lot more expensive there. So some of the things that, in addition to those stickers that we had planned on working on, we're replacing these snaps, which you've seen me replace before. But I guess Aaron must have already gotten to this before me. I think we had a communication, not breakdown, just who was going to do what job. But these are brand new shiny stainless steel snaps, and that's a lot better of a solution than what I was going to do, because I was probably going to use some really heavy duty reusable button in the middle zip ties. Little zip ties that are fastenable at each 1 inch length. So that's off the list. And underwater lights are off the list. And what else was on the list that we had for today? Oh, are you getting into the deal?
Yeah,
what are you working on? What are you working on?
I was retrieving an object that dropped.
Oh, okay. You're not working on anything. You're finding things that fell.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
We're gonna do the igniter switch.
Yep. And then I think what we'll do in here is probably glue this corner down right here with some epoxy, because I don't like the way that sticks out. And we're thinking about moving this little guy right here, which is a remote for the Autopilot, and instead mount it here if we have time, which I think we're going to have time. It depends on how many other boat projects we run across while we're here, just finding things as we start to turn things on and make sure they still work after hurricane season storage. So we'll see how that goes, see what we come up with. Okay, so I've got the remote control for the Autopilot pulled off, and now I need to get the power cable for it. And I've kind of traced it up through this fun stuff. It's zip tied to the electrical box there, and then it kind of comes up and swirls around right here, across those zip ties, and then plugs into that. So I need to undo that, undo all this, bring it all out so that it'll fit through that hole so I don't have to cut the wire. And then the idea is I'm going to epoxy this and then clamp it down, let it dry. Clamp just broke. It didn't really break, just a little thing popped off of it. Anyway, we'll clamp down that while that dries out a little bit, and while we're working on it, the idea is I'd like it to kind of be about here-ish, which means that we need to mount this guy about like here-ish. So epoxy fun mixing up is next. Okay, so then next thing is we need to get this on here. I figure if I go ahead and mount it now, it'll actually help with the curing process because it's going to hold it up against the part that it's glued to. So I think right here is the perfect spot for it. So we're going to go ahead and get that set up. Ultimately, it's going to look like that. And then one more hole down here for the power cable to come through. And so to do that, I need to figure out how big this hole is. But I can't do that till I get the cable out. So that's step next. And rewire it. Okay, then now we need a hole for the remote to actually go into. So we'll do this. There we go. We have a handy little hole right below the remote, which is going to need to get wired into that terminal right there. Should have a pretty good amount of cable length on the other side so that people, can pull this out enough to realize that it's actually a remote control, because they don't need to actually keep it plugged into this thing. And they can operate it now from the table. So the idea is it's got plenty of room to be able to kind of unsnug itself like this, and then unplug and then operate the autopilot and push it back in, and then people can just kind of push the little cable in like that. And that helps anchor the Kydex bits here that were kind of flapping up and making me a little bit sad. And now I just need to get it all wired together in here. So that's what's next. And here we are with the quasi-finished product. So this still needs to be wired in, but this is kind of what I was trying to go for. Kydex is no longer kind of jutting out, looking weird on the top or the bottom, plus it's anchored. Now you've got chart plotter, navigation, you've got your communications here, even the stereo controls, but without having to reach around and grab that, we now have control of the autopilot from right here at the inside helm station. All right, we are all wired in now, like it was before. Still don't like that it's not using like a standard sea-talking system, but you can see that the autopilot is powered up along with the VHF and the rest of the gear, and you can see if you look on that left indicator, battery is charging on the remote control for the autopilot. We're getting up on time for dinner, so we're gonna have to start wrapping it up, putting tools away and stuff. But I'd say with the fact that a number of our planned projects were unfortunately not able to be done this time, we're gonna get up tomorrow, get back at it, and start on hopefully putting some decals on the boat. Take a look at this. This is pretty awesome, huh? Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Good digs. Place to come back to when we're finished with boat work for the day. Thank you to Chris and Robert for finding this little gem. And if you're coming out to St. Augustine, yeah, highly recommend. This is just great views everywhere you go. It's really awesome. All right, so we've got flat fenders. I'm not completely and totally understanding how this happened, but of the 6 fenders we have on board, noticed here for almost a year, we've had a couple of them that are flat. So we were just at West Marine getting that cable right there because it was shorted out. I saw this pump and thought, well, let's blow up some fenders and see if we can figure out what is the deal with these, because it'd be nice to have 6 of them. Came with it, but might take a little minute to air this sucker up, but I figure in a pinch it'd be nice to have one of these on board.
Doing it for 15 minutes.
So now Lisa's taken over pumping up the fender, which, as it turns out, is a very slow process with that tiny little pump. This may or may not be a thing that can even get something that big turned out. All right, so we just took Serenity and kind of pulled her up a little closer to the dock. The back end is, you know, kind of kicked out a little bit so that we could bring the bow over here a little bit. The first step in this project really is just get the old lettering off and then clean it really good. Wow, it's not even taking a lot of heat at this point to get it off of there. With the sun out. Try to keep a continuous pull as best as we can. And here comes one of the damaged spots. I don't know what we're going to be looking at when this happens. That's what I was afraid of. Somebody just painted that with gray paint. We'll have to get that paint off of there somehow. There we go. Right, so now we're deciding kind of the height, the forward, back, and the level of where we want the new logo to go. And then we'll tape it in place, and then I'll cut the tape so that we'll know where to return it to later. So let's start with one piece.
I did.
Because the 42 is right here.
Yeah, you're coming down about an inch.
Yeah. And then I need the piece of electrical tape. Yep. Good government work. Wouldn't hurt, but these are the guides that we'll use later to come in with, because I'm going to cut this tape, right? So this becomes the kind of like up, down, left, right for later. So maybe if I just do one more right here. You having fun yet?
Yay!
Yay, she says. All right, so these little spots, so we just put electrical tape around where we're going to have the corners of this go. So the next steps are we're going to peel the backing off of this, spray it really, really good, spray that really, really good, and then when we're finished with that, we're going to slap it on, and then it's going to be about 30 minutes before we can peel it back off again, possibly longer. Makes you nervous because you really kind of only get one shot at this. Are you nervous?
I am nervous, and I'm looking for the spray.
The spray is inside.
Oh, okay.
I need to go get that. We're going to have to zoom in on this shot a bit, but yeah, we can now see what happened to this boat. He got just a little bit out of the lane there. Did you see where those birds are walking around right there? Lisa just noticed this. She came walking out here to the end of the dock, and she's like, that's land over there. Oh, that's why this boat has had a very, very bad day. Unfortunate. Gosh, they came in the dark too, so like they really, I guess you really got to pay close attention to these markers. You can see right there, that's one of the green markers. See up there, some more of them, right? You want to stay in the channel in little tight places like this. Makes you a little nervous because we're not entirely sure right now who's taking Serenity out of this same channel. So,
Right, but I'm sure they're fully capable of knowing where to get it out.
That's incredibly true. They don't do these as bare boats. These are always done with a cruise Abaco captain, and we trust those people implicitly. So
Yeah.
anyway, we're on to the next step here of the boat lettering project. I've got my spray bottle of adhesive. Here's a tip if you guys are ever doing any vinyl. The ladies at Island Boat Lettering, not sponsored here, they do amazing quality, and if you ask for the starter kit to go with it, they'll send you this, and they'll send you one of these and some really great instructions on how to walk through the whole process of getting it on. So our next step is, now that we've got the black parts marked and we know where this is going to go when we're done because we're happy with it, is to get the backing off. So what we'll be doing here is there's a layer of kind of like what's like butcher paper, and then the actual vinyl, and then there's this kind of grid looking paper. So we get them apart, and then we very slowly start to remove them, because we want this to come off. See how it's kind of like that non-stick paper that you cook with? In fact, it may actually be that. I don't really know. It's definitely like a
parchment paper.
It's like a wax paper.
Wax paper.
Yeah, it's like a wax paper or parchment paper. And you know, the trick here is just make sure to come off of this, because that's the sticky side of the vinyl that you're seeing right there. We want to make sure that the logo and the letters and all that jazz. Thank you, that'll help a bunch. See how that's right there trying to come with me? We don't want that. We want that to stay put. So back up a little bit, come back forward a little bit, and then just very carefully coming forward. Yeah, let's maybe put this right here. It's a pretty big application here. And it's a pretty windy day. So you're holding it down. And then let's weigh it down at the corner. And the other corner. And then the next step is, I'm gonna get all the vinyl bits sprayed down good and get it nice and wet. And then right where she's gonna go, we're gonna get the hole wet too. Everywhere inside of the area that we see between the tape bits is gonna get wet. This helps us to get the bubbles out and get her to do a clean application. And then here comes the fun part. If you want to take that right off of there, we come up and we go find our guidelines from earlier and just kind of put it right back on where we had it before. And you can see I can move it a little bit. See how I can slide it up and down and around a little? We're pretty much right dead on where we had the stuff. So the big removal of creases and bubbles and other things happens at this stage. So there's a big bubble right there. I want rid of that. But the most important bubbles to get rid of are obviously the vinyl itself, right? So that's where this thing came, not that one, this one, the newer of the two, comes in handy, because we're gonna go kind of in the pattern of whatever it is. If it's an S, it goes one way. If it's a triscally like this, it doesn't look like much now, but when we take the paper off, you'll really be able to see any wrinkles or bubbles or any imperfections in the laydown of this thing. And we got on at 1:20 p.m. So we will try peeling it off 30 minutes from now. And then Lisa's gonna take Serenity and back it out of this spot and flip it around. And
He's got jokes.
hopefully, it's time for the big reveal. So you come in from just one side, preferably at an angle, pulling 45 degrees, and then we start with the great reveal right here on these two letters. And as we come across, we'll see little stuff like this. Kind of hard to see probably unless you're as close as I am, but there was a tiny little bubble right there. Main thing to look for is to make sure that the letters aren't coming up with the paper. And I think the better the angle that you pull from, the lower the chance of that happening will occur. And then we get more little bubbles like that. Slow is pro. We got a little bubble in the E right there. another one right there. And the juice comes out with it. That's unfortunate right there. Turn down a little more. There we go. See, it's squirting out like a pus out of a zit.
Yeah.
It didn't want to go that way. It's got a tiny little wrinkle right there from where the bubble was.
From back here.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Hope it was everything you were hoping for, baby.
Absolutely. It's exactly. It's great.
And boom. Oh, that's so awesome. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
All right, so the next project that I'm doing is actually kind of simplistic, but kind of important, and it involves these guys right here. There's a couple of reasons for this. One of them is a highlight of the boat, and believe it or not, it's this $10 add-on I got from Walmart when we first picked up the boat. It's got a nice little indoor temperature thing, date and time, but it's got indoor and outdoor temperatures that we keep kind of hidden. I've shown it before. It hangs out under the table, sort of kind of crudely zip tied. So they're not dead right now, but they will be, and I don't know when. And we want to make sure that it doesn't die in the middle of a charter or when we're on a charter. So pretty much, you know, at least once a year or sooner, if I think about it, we replace that. Another thing is that does go dead. Previous episode you saw that I wasn't able to light the oven because these are dead. This is the trash can under the sink, and hidden behind the trash can under the sink are these two little batteries for leopards. That's where the battery goes to light both the oven and the stovetop. And so I'm going to swap all of these out so that they're all good to go. Going to get those swapped out, and then we just talked to Captain Will Vandermeer, and he's about an hour and a half away or so, and we're going to try to flip Serenity around and start the sticker on the other side of the boat. So we got Starboard, now we need port, and hopefully we'll be starting that up here pretty quick.
So they're turning the boat around because we were able to get the Serenity sticker on one side, but since they took it out of dry dock and now we're what they call splashed, now we've got to get it the other side to be able to work on it getting the sticker on. So Captain Will was nice enough to come out on his way to a Halloween party and help us turn the boat around so that we could work on the other side. And here we go. I mean, we feel like we could have done this ourselves, but at the time when we were ready to switch it, the wind picked up really hard and switched directions, and we don't know this area. And Captain does, so we just waited on him. And so here we are. Whew. So you see the 42 on this side, and you've seen the new sticker, and that's where we will then put the same Serenity sticker on the side of the boat. A lot of excitement going on right here. So glad we had a helper. Gotcha.
It was pretty late in the day after we got Serenity spun around. We had dinner plans with Carissa and Robert that night, so we headed back to the Airbnb. We watched the sunset, got some rest, and then got right back at it in the morning. Okay, so we got the boat situated so that Chris could get the 42 off of this side. Yesterday we got it off of the other side and was able to get the Serenity sticker on. So it was a little bit more difficult today to get the boat close enough on the edge.
It's on there, so now 30 minutes, mission accomplished, almost. So other projects we're considering today, Lisa wants to clean Firefly. So that's coming up hopefully in a little bit. Our rusty pump here, we need to replace, but poor Firefly is very flat. So we're gonna pump her up. The way that works is a foot pedal pump, and little, God, look at that.
Yeah.
These little things just kind of unscrew about a quarter turn and pop out, and then this guy goes in its place. Normally you would use your foot for this, but it seems that the spring has rusted out. Magic eraser's in effect, getting ready to get to cleaning on that. We got a few other things that we're going to knock out today.
That was a lot.
That was a lot.
The wind is not cooperating.
No.
And that sticky paper.
Yeah, it tried to take the sticky paper away.
Yep.
Right. So, time for the big reveal. This time on the port side. All right, so kind of just repeating the process from yesterday. We're gonna do, wow, she's a little further away suddenly. I'll scoot you up.
Oh, yeah.
We're a little worried about flesh-eating bacteria in this water, because who was it had that happen to
It
them?
was the AC guy.
AC guy.
Yeah, he was helping a friend retrieve their sunglasses. I guess they were special racing glasses. And he cut himself on the dock and got in the water and then got really sick, and after a week had ended up in the hospital.
Yeah,
They said he was really lucky he didn't have to have any amputation. So yeah, that is very scary.
Well, how's she look? Oh yeah,
Looks great.
that's magic right there. Still got a little bit of 42 in the background, but
Yeah.
I don't see
Very
any bubbles
cool.
anymore. All right, high five.
So awesome. Yes, beautiful. Our next dinghy will be gray
Why would our next dinghy be gray?
because this gray, whatever this is, I'm using Dawn. I'm using the magic eraser. It's like damaged, like sun damaged. And if it was gray, you wouldn't be able to see this. Yes, the dirt. I'm getting the dirt off. But this is not coming off. This damage.
It's just damaged.
Yeah, it's just damaged.
Maybe with some bleach we could get it, but we don't have any bleach with us. But
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
you get what you can. I can tell where you've been, so I can see that it's making a difference. But
Yeah, I've been here, so I haven't been there, obviously, and I'm working over here. But it's
slowly turning gray. This dinghy may be gray in another year.
that is a good point.
It's like a person like myself who gets lots of freckles when the sun comes out. Like eventually, I think I would just turn into one big freckle.
Yeah.
And then maybe it would look like a tan. I don't know. But yeah, poor Firefly. White dinghy, Hapalon as a white color. I don't know if that was the best choice for us or for not Highfield, East Marine. So Lisa's working on that, scrubbing away, trying to do what she can.
while I'm up here trying to de-rustify a lot of these metal bits. So you scrub it on, and then you gotta wait a couple minutes, and then you wipe it off. It's very satisfying. It's just very slow going because there's a lot of stainless on this boat. We've been using this Starboard stuff and that little kind of bristle brush thing, which does a pretty good job. So, like, I haven't tried one of these on the turnbuckles before, but I think I know what I'm going to see. Get the stuff on there. And it needs just a couple minutes to do its work. But the bristles help get into the grooves and stuff. Like I said, slow going, but kind of worth it because you know that over time that eventually this is going to turn into a problem, because eventually the rust will start causing corrosion. It'll possibly cause these turnbuckles to seize up. And it's just unsightly. You know, if you charter a boat and you pay a lot of money and the boat you get on is just a big rust bucket, that's no fun for anybody. We're just still getting the projects knocked out, making Serenity beautiful again.
This was our last full day, and after the boat jobs were all done, we treated ourselves and the crew to a fantastic dinner and a beautiful sunset at a place called Caps on the Water. We headed back out to the yard the next morning to clean up our mess, pack up all of our tools, and say goodbye for now to Serenity and Firefly. Hey guys, we know this isn't a sailing video, but we feel like it's something important in our story to share with you.
Yeah, another one of those where we're kind of not doing anything like the T-Bird episode was, with us not out adventuring in the Bahamas. But yeah, like Lisa said, this is kind of important to explain what the whole story looks like. So this is life in the boatyard, doing some projects out here, getting her ready to make the crossing and get back over to the Bahamas.
So we do have some exciting adventures coming up. It's going to be several episodes. We were out there for 3 weeks.
About 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, 2.5, almost 3 weeks. But Caitlin was with us, and we have a big adventure to show you. Yeah, November has 5 Saturdays, so we'll have the first episode out for you in a couple of weeks, but it's going to be a 3-week wait for episode 2.
Yeah, the series is going to be split up over, I actually at this point don't even know how many episodes it's going to be. We'll create a playlist just for it because it's going to be pretty epic. We're still in the Bahamas in this series that we're coming up on. We're going to be leaving the Abaco area and heading south to destinations we'll share with you when we get to that. But yeah, like she said, because of the timing, we've got the T-Bird episode, we've got this episode. We wanted to get those out of the way before we go into this kind of epic adventure that we're ready to go. We've already built several of the episodes. We're ready to release them soon. But since we only release the first and third Saturdays of every month, and there's 5 Saturdays, as Lisa said, in November, that means that when just the timing was horrible, it's like we're going to end up releasing an episode and then there's going to be a 3-week hiatus before we get to the part 2. But it'll be worth it. I promise you, it's a great adventure. We did a lot of really cool things and a lot of really cool places, and we can't wait to share that story with you guys.
Yeah, so while you wait on those few weeks in between, just go back to the beginning and see where we started.
Yeah, here in just a second, you're going to see a card here pop up that says binge us from the beginning. Consider doing that. Go ahead and start from the beginning. It goes all the way back to 2022 when we first started on this crazy adventure. Didn't even have Serenity yet.
Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.